We're going to talk about anniversaries and holidays and how these are impacted by sexual betrayal. And when I say anniversaries, there's two different kinds of anniversaries. Of course, we have our typical, what we think of as our wedding anniversary. I think you can see obviously why that will be a painful experience for you after sexual betrayal. Your wedding anniversary, it's kind of like, what do I do with this? Holy cow. The other type of anniversary is anniversaries of D-days. So remember, D-days are disclosures or discoveries. Discoveries when we find information about sexual secrets, and a disclosure is when he tells us, whether it's because we found a little bit of information and he tells us a little bit more, or for whatever reason, we get more information out of his mouth. The anniversaries of our discoveries or disclosures are deeply distressing, so much so that you may not be consciously aware that you're coming up on the 1-year mark or whatever, since you had a big discovery. Your body will remember. I recall 1 year post discovery, my most painful and distressing discovery / disclosure of sexual betrayal in my first marriage. My body started reacting before I even realized what was happening. Mine was in the fall. And so just by feeling the weather shift into fall weather, my body, I started having trauma reactions, and I was like, what is going on? So I just want you to be aware of this, because as you move towards various anniversaries or various holidays, it can be really painful. It can be helpful to have a plan for how you want to handle these days. There's going to be different reactions for us depending on what each holiday means to us. I'm just going to give you some examples from my own life. Valentine's Day was when I got engaged. And so Valentine's Day became extremely painful. And you need to decide, what is it that you want and need for that day? If you are still married, you're going to want to think through what you want and need and communicate that to your spouse. Some women would prefer that he not even acknowledge a wedding anniversary, Valentine's Day, or a special day like that. Other women want him to acknowledge it, but don't want to do the typical go out to dinner, bring me flowers, all these things. So you need to think through, what do you want and need on those special holidays? Also, even for things like Christmas, do you want him to buy you Christmas presents or do you not? If you're separated, you might want to think ahead of time. What do you want or need for Christmas with your spouse and your kids? Do you want to be together? Do you want to be separate? I just want you to be aware that these are going to be difficult experiences, and it can really help to journal out and do a brain dump on how you're feeling about it ahead of time, to increase your self-care around those days. And if and when sadness, anger, various forms of grief come around that time, to provide yourself with some space to process it and to feel it, and also increasing your self-care and your joy strength around those times. Some things that really helped me are revolving around anniversaries of painful memories, like a discovery or a disclosure, was to write a letter to my ex-husband, who was my husband at the time when I would do this, and express my feelings and my thoughts and not send it to him. I would burn it or I would rip it up. I might read it to a really safe recovery friend, just to have a witness to my pain and my upset, and just get it out. It's kind of like when you have the flu and you feel like, I need to puke, and you feel so horrible until you throw up, and then you feel this relief after throwing up. It like relieves the pressure to get that out. So this is kind of like an emotional vomit or a verbal vomit of all the stored pain and feelings that you're having. Another thing that can benefit some women is when you're coming up on a wedding anniversary, you might want to take a wedding picture and destroy it, or take a piece of lingerie and burn it. I mean, our goal here is to help you think through, what can you do that will not harm you or other people, but that will be symbolic and help you to process what this feels like. This is a great topic to discuss with other women, because you'll learn things that they've done that have helped them as they approach a D-Day anniversary, a wedding anniversary, or a holiday. More than anything else, I want to encourage you to watch your self-talk around this time. Instead of saying things like, what is wrong with me? Like, why can't I hold it together? Are you talking to yourself like that with critical, judgmental spirit, or are you handling your heart with gentleness and with love and compassion? Are you talking to yourself as you would talk to your dear friend if they were going through this? You need a lot of TLC. You need tenderness, you need care, you need extra rest, and you need support. You need love.